Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Copple Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Simpson.
Did kind of manage
And Steve Sipple.
surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning, happy Wednesday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen. Early break, full show ahead. Lots to get to. Sean Callahan joined this next segment. It's talk about some recruiting news from yesterday.
Yeah, there was a lot of news.
And some staffing news, I suppose, for Nebraska. There's still stuff going on for the Huskers before spring football begins.
Yes. I have a cough drop in.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Can you hear it clanking around?
I sure do. And guess who else does? The listeners do.
Well, yesterday, did you notice? All right, I think this falls into the category of idle chit chat.
Sponsored by Newton's Lawn Care. Call them today for all your 2023 fertilizing plans. What do you got?
Did you notice yesterday I was hacking a lot? I had trouble. You were annoyed at one point.
Was
I could tell.
Well, you did step off the microphone because you had to cough for like 15 straight seconds.
No, but I had a bout. So today I brought the trusted Vicks Vapors.
Is that what you did?
I did.
Do you feel better? Is it soothing your cough?
Yes.
Does your voice sound
Did you
better?
notice? You notice I'm not coughing?
Yet?
Yeah, I won't. Not with Vicks Vapors.
Do you have a permanent cough, do you think?
Stop saying that. Why would you say that?
Well, because you do bring cough drops in all the time. Because like 24/7. I'm just asking a fair question.
I don't know if that's fair.
Why is that not fair?
It seems on a little bit on the accusatory side.
It's not accusatory. It's just a simple question. It's a simple question.
Let's not have this conversation.
Well, probably they missed your cough drop. We'll just move on with that.
Anything interesting in your world yesterday?
Well, we'll get to it in a second. I watched basketball last night. That wasn't very fun.
I did too.
We'll
talk.
Tough
at length
workout
about it.
yesterday. Tough workout.
Yeah, you did have one.
Tough workout. Saw our good friend Yoshi at the gym. Yoshi
Okay,
Hardrick,
now that's interesting.
who I think we might see at some point in studio the next couple weeks here.
That would be great.
Yes.
Okay, Yoshi, for those who've forgotten, played tackle for Nebraska at a high level during the Pelini years.
Yes.
And then went and has had an excellent career in the Canadian Football
Yes, he has. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the team he was runner-up with this year in the finals, in the Grey Cup.
We didn't. Let's stay on just for a second here. Can we stay on the idle chit chat?
Yes, we can.
I think there's some listeners that would take us to task, and rightfully so, for failing yesterday to mention during the 2 hours of our sports talk show that Donnie Mitchell,
Yes.
went for 71 points and 11 assists and 8 rebounds in the Cleveland Cavaliers overtime win, 145-134 against the Bulls. Why that wasn't mentioned yesterday on a sports talk radio show?
Well, this isn't the biggest NBA friendly station or show in a town that doesn't really care that much about the NBA. Lincoln's not an NBA town at all. But you're right.
He's the first player in league history to have 70 and 10. 70 points and 10 assists.
After we just saw last week, Luka Doncic goes for 60 points and 20 rebounds in a win against the Knicks. So pretty incredible things going on right now.
DeRozan,
DeMar DeRozan of the Bulls,
in the same game had 44 points.
and it was just nothing compared to 71.
Idle
The
chit
former
chat.
Utah Jazz man, Donovan Mitchell. Idle Chit Chat, sponsored by Newton's Lawn Care. Call today, 402-440-6297 for a free quote for a 2023 fertilizer program. Newton's Lawn Care.
I don't know exactly what your hang up is with the NBA. I don't share it at this point.
Well, I'm a Heat fan, Miami Heat, and they're having a rough start. They're 20-18. They had a horrible start. Now they're okay. It's hard to watch all the games.
It's hard to watch all the NFL games.
No, it's not, because there's only 18 weeks a year of the NFL, and the NFL is a phenomenal product. Phenomenal product.
It is.
With every Sunday, you have 10 games or so, 10, 12 games. Monday a game, Thursday a game.
It's not a phenomenal product.
What's that?
Nebraska men's basketball.
Yeah, Nebraska basketball goes on the road last night. We were hopeful for a good showing by the Huskers in East Lansing following a nice win against Iowa last Thursday. Well, Sip, it wasn't very pretty for Nebraska. They lose to Michigan State 74-56, trailed by 22 points at halftime because, Sip, they only had 17 points at halftime. 17.
Right.
17 and a half. Huskers do outscore them in the second half by 4, but they lose by 18. And there's several stories of this game, but they pretty much all start with the common issue for the squad, which is poor shooting. And number one, Sip, which has been a problem for Hoiberg in the previous seasons here. It flared up again last night. Free throws. Nebraska was 8 for 20 on free throws last night. I repeat, Nebraska 8 for 20. Derek Walker 1 for 8 at the free throw line. Ouch. Sam Griesel 2 for 4. Wilcher 1 for 2. Breidenbach made his 1 free throw, but still 8 for 20. Michigan State out-rebounds Nebraska by 17, 46-29. All these things we saw regarding effort for Nebraska against Iowa and even Purdue in the loss and most of the games this season, you didn't see them last night. Now, I didn't think they play a horrible defense for some of this game. Now, they did play for some of the game bad defense, but the issues that have affected this program in the Hoiberg era were ugly last night. In the rebounding and free throws, and again, also 2 for 16 on three-point attempts in the ball game.
All right, the free throws, I mean, I don't want to get obnoxious. I don't know that I'll be able to help myself.
You're allowed to be obnoxious on that. Please do.
8 for 20. If I was coaching a sixth grade girls team, sixth grade girls team, or a boys team, I guess. I don't want to be inappropriate, but a sixth grade girls team with boys or whatever.
A sixth grade team.
I'd say if we were, and I was coaching that team and we were 8 for 20, I would say, girls, I know you got little hands, and I know your attention span is not the greatest, but 8 for 20 is unacceptable. And we're going to shoot free throws for an hour and a half tomorrow at practice. And if you don't make 5 in a row, you're not getting your phone back. You can cry all you want. You got little hands. Your strength isn't great, but you're a sixth grade girls team and you should be able to make 10 of 20 free throws, not 8. You're a sixth grade girls team. You got little hands. I know it's tough, but you're standing there. It's just you in the basket. Just make the free throw.
Yeah, I mean, any stage of basketball, free throws are vital.
A sixth grade girls team could hit 8 of 20.
That's kind of obnoxious a little bit. Yeah. I could see people saying, "Well, come on, man, come on." However, the point is valid.
All right. God, really? Is it that obnoxious?
Yeah, a little bit. But the point is valid, though. I go back to that game in Fred's first year where they went 8 for 33 at the free throw line against Northwestern. That was mortifyingly bad. 8 for 23. Now, last night, 8 for 20 is still terrible for a team that's a lot better in terms of cohesion than those first couple of years that Fred Hoiberg had. But
no, I know. Here's the deal. I still this team, I still like it. Here, I mean, the one thing I would say, and I watched the game from start to finish.
I watched the whole thing also.
You give Michigan State a lot of credit. Now, I think that's the best Michigan State. If you were listening to it, Stephen Bardo, Kevin Kugler on the call, and those guys both commented that was as well as Michigan State's played all year, both ends.
Well, it helps when you're missing wide open layups and shots too.
Yeah, let's give the opponent credit.
I'm going to.
Okay, so think about this. Think about what you saw against Iowa and Iowa's inability to get into any kind of offense against Nebraska. And how Nebraska swarmed Iowa. And Iowa's rushing shots, bad shots, getting bad shots. Nebraska wore them down. Boy, Michigan State, it was a much different in your mind's eye. The whole picture was much different. Michigan State did what it does. It pressed pace, and here's what happens when you're missing shots like Nebraska, just feeds right into Michigan State because then they get out and run. One good way to slow a team that runs like that is make shots.
Yeah.
Because it's harder, it's harder to take the ball out of the basket and push it up the floor. But Nebraska's missing shots, missing free throws. Izzo told his team, no, we will not allow Nebraska to rebound its own miss from the line. Not one, none. They get no rebounds off missed free throws. 0. Okay. So they did accomplish that. And what Michigan State did and what it does is it pushes pace, right? And then it gets into its offense, and they were swinging the ball. I mean, they were moving the ball. There was ball movement, and a live ball is more apt to go in the basket. Michigan State, I was very impressed with the way they purposely moved the ball against Nebraska.
And I still thought Nebraska didn't play terrible defense. I mean, they moved.
Not great.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. It wasn't
not great
what it
energy.
been.
Because here's what happened. Fred said this after the game. When you're missing shots, human nature is that it affects your defense.
Yeah, that's pretty much a given.
Yeah.
And I'm with Fred on that. I mean, you could tell a little. I mean, I still thought in the first 10 minutes when that game was still somewhat in question, Nebraska was hanging. They were right there. That the effort was very strong. I didn't think the
effort was all right.
I never saw a team.
Yeah.
I mean, in the second half, they got it down to 12 points.
Oh,
right?
They
were down by 22 at halftime. Get it down to 12 because they're fighting hard.
Right. And I'm not going to give.
And the baskets that Michigan State made to keep it going at that time were still pretty tough shots. They make a long jumper or a contested, layup in the paint. But it wasn't like they were getting a bunch of breakaways and steals and just easy buckets. Nebraska still made them work for it. They just made shots in their home court. But when all is said and done, you lose the game by 18 points. You never got closer than 12 in the second half, went trailing by 22 at halftime. And you got to find yourself. I mean, you got to find a way to make shots in the road. Your next game, Sip, is at Minnesota, who is a bad basketball team. But guess what?
They're bad.
Guess what? Can you make shots on the road? Because if you don't, it won't matter how bad Minnesota is.
Thank you.
You have to make free throws. You have to make your shots. The simple things we always complain about Nebraska basketball showed their ugly face last night.
So at one point, I guess it's just elementary. This is just elementary. But at one point, Nebraska was 3 for 11 from the stripe in the second half. If you just say 8 more makes, the game would have been 56-49 at that point. It would have been a ball game. Instead, it wasn't a ball game. Nebraska was down, 56-41. 8. It's not too much to ask a team to make its free throws. I know I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I was obnoxious before. I will not go down that path. It's fascinating.
Think about this too.
Fascinating that you called me out for that.
Well, it happens.
Okay, go ahead.
On Michigan State's home court, Nebraska has 20 free throw attempts. Michigan State has 6.
Right.
So it wasn't like it was an unfairly called game where, okay, it's leaning towards Michigan State. No, Nebraska was at the free throw line way more often than Michigan State was. And you just blew every opportunity you had to crawl closer with free shots there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, there you go. That's just painful. That's painful.
So big picture. Nebraska falls to 8-7 and 1-3 in the Big Ten. You got to get this one coming up. I mean, you don't want to dig yourself a hole in this league. Michigan State, on the other hand, 10-4 and 2-1, and Michigan State's a little better than I thought. And you heard Bardo and Kugler saying this is definitely this is a team. It's one of the better teams in the Big Ten. I don't know. I haven't seen enough. Obviously, we've seen Purdue up close. Purdue's better.
They just have a good game. Are they a good team or did they have a good game last night? It's hard to know. We'll see if they're consistently that good going forward.
They have some pieces. It's not a top 10 team, I don't think.
No. God, no. Michigan State?
Yeah.
That's not a top 10. They played really good basketball last night.
Well, I think they're a top 25 team. Jake.
Possibly.
Yeah, I
Possibly.
think you're going to see him in the top 25 here pretty quick.
Here was a note. If you want some positivity about Nebraska so far, can I give some positivity here?
Sure.
From before the game. This was a pregame note
Okay.
for Nebraska. So as of January 1st, Nebraska's net strength of schedule was 18th nationally. The only Big Ten team in the top 30 nationally. How about that? Okay. Michigan State will be Nebraska's 7th quad 1 opponent of the year and 9th opponent in the top 2 quads. No Division I team has played more quad 1 opponents than Nebraska as of January 1st.
That's amazing.
Nebraska's 6 losses at that point are to teams which have a combined 65-15 record, which 5 of those teams are currently in the top 50 of the net.
Now,
so they've had a tough schedule. They have.
And if you start looking down the line and say Nebraska finishes 6-14 in the Big Ten, 6-14, keep that in mind. That all of that, what you just read, does that, in the eyes of Trev Alberts, does that provide more grace for Fred Hoiberg? Would 6-14 get Fred back? A 6-14 Big Ten record. They played 20 games.
Yeah, I think part of that depends on how it looks. Like, are you getting those 6 wins early in conference play and fading off, or are you finishing strong like they did last year, getting 3 straight wins to close what was a terrible Big Ten slate for Nebraska?
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how that looks. Does the team give up at the end? I don't see this team giving up.
I don't either. I do not see it giving
up. And
up.
I would say right now, if I had to guess, Trev Alberts is not looking to make a move with basketball, seeing there's progress. Now, again, if they falter and this falls off, then something happens. But I would say right now, if I had to guess, he's leaning toward keeping Fred. That's my assumption.
Wanting to keep him.
Yeah, wanting to keep him.
Fred has the support of, I would say, I don't know what percentage, but most of the fan base. I don't know what percentage, but most of the fan base. Likability factors very high. Team plays hard. Team plays a style that fans like. Fans will walk away from that game. Nebraska fans last night disappointed, for sure. Disappointed.
They should be disappointed.
Borderline angry. But it wasn't, Nebraska's effort wasn't bad. There wasn't any. They just got beat by a better team who played very well on that certain night. Michigan State is a good team that played very well. Good team that played
on their home court.
Yeah. I do think there's going to have to be a decision. It could be a tough decision because I think this team is going to win enough games to make it a tough decision. If they go, what am I talking about? If they go 3-17 in the Big Ten, is there a decision to be made?
I don't think so. I think it's gone.
Yeah,
it's over.
But I think this is a 6-14, 7-13 type of team. And then I think that might be enough.
But do you understand
because of the schedule?
Do you understand how the fans might be concerned if that's still good enough?
Sure, that's a big concern.
I mean, we're talking
about a huge concern.
You want this program to not just be the basement of
it's a huge
Big
concern
Ten forever.
And this is where I have to credit you for not going too far down the road of but SIP. I mean, they really played well in the second half and made it a game. You can't. I think this athletic department has to be really careful right now about that sort of narrative. That, but man, they played hard in the second half and they were within 12. You got to give them a lot of credit. No, you don't. You don't have to give them credit for that. In fact, if you keep giving them credit, it feeds into a terrible narrative that it's okay to lose. And it's okay. It's just okay, SIP, if they're close. It's okay.
No,
it's not.
Well,
but that narrative is too pervasive in this fan base right now.
Well, here's the case. If Nebraska were playing against Duke last night, maybe I could see that narrative being fun.
No.
Nebraska was a 7-point underdog. Like it's supposed to be a competitive game. Like I don't want to hear about you cut a 22-point halftime deficit to 12. No, you were 7-point dogs. It was supposed to be a tight game.
I know this is where people are going to attack, and I'm check the text line out. How much did we do that for Frost? And when they were losing all those close games in 2021,
we were critical. I was critical.
Yeah, well, I was I was obviously critical. but I do think some of that narrative was, oh, but they're coming close. You know, they're pushing Ohio State, right? They're pushing Ohio State into the late stages of a game on it. You know, they're close to Iowa without its starting court with Logan Smothers. Yeah, I think there was some of that. But what I'm saying is that conversation has to evolve toward, no, that's not good enough. Already, though, that conversation is going to be had during the Rule era. There's already early in the Rule era. There's already this discussion of, for instance, Sam McEwen of the World Herald wrote the other day, I don't know if you noticed it, that this is going to take time. And if it doesn't go particularly well in year one, that's the way it is. Versus the mindset of, no, they have a roster that can win right away. And in this day and age, you can do it.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Tulane did it.
Right.
TCU did it. USC did it.
Well, look at his first year coaches. I mean,
Right.
Tulane that was not Willie's first year.
Oh, that's
look,
not first year.
Look at like Mike Elko at Duke.
Yeah.
Gets 9 wins.
Right. So
Jim Moore Jr. takes UConn from hell to 6 wins in his first year.
right. So this conversation's not, it's going to stay with us because there's already, I notice it. There are some people, and I have evolved more in your direction on that conversation where I look at this roster and I don't say, no, I'm not, they could be like a Temple in year one or a Baylor in year one where it's a 2-win. No. This is not a 2-win team. They should be a bowl team in his first year.
They should have been a bowl team the last couple of years.
Right. If when I look at the roster as it is right now, and then I look at the schedule right now, yeah, there's no reason this team should go 3-9. So no, I think there is a certain amount of pressure on Rule in year one, a certain amount.
Right. And if they do,
amount, not a lot.
And if they do, that's why I said I'll put a check in the disappointment.
Yeah,
box.
not run him out of town box, but
you can assess each season individually.
Right.
And I would say, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm still hopeful for the future, but that's a disappointment for year one.
Right. I've noted reaction to that idea that you just say year one is up. Don't even look at the record. It doesn't matter. No, I've seen reaction to it. It's not good. It's not, wait a second. We kind of, that's a dangerous.
I don't know how you can say that.
It's a dangerous place to be.
When you just saw a team that right now is playing for the national championship with a first-year head coach at that program that inherited a 5-7 team the previous year.
Right.
Don't tell me the first year doesn't matter. I don't buy that.
No, but again, these complications are layered. TCU is much more talented than Nebraska.
Fine, but I recall. I mean, I remember seeing Joey McGuire, the head coach at Texas Tech, saying, you know, he's great friends with Matt Rule. He said it shouldn't take that long for him there. He should not have his bad first year you've seen at maybe Baylor or Temple. Shouldn't be like that.
Then it's the same. Then you switch the conversation back to Fred. I mean, what are we doing here?
That one guy on the text line says this at 464-5685. Fred does not have my support. He was a stubborn mule his first 3 years, and he finally has an average team while being paid millions.
Fourth year, and we're on the radio saying 6-14 in the league's enough. Now, some people are going to be repulsed by that,
and I don't blame them. You should be. Some of you should be repulsed by that. It kind of repulses me. I'm not sold on 6-14 being enough for Fred.
Well, I'm not saying it is for sure. I can't read Trev Albert's mind, but I would say because of Fred's likability, his professionalism, and the way his team is playing now, the style and the effort, that I think he's going to get a lot of grace from people, and I think he could get grace from Trev
if the team keeps playing the tough basketball and good defense they have played so far this season, then yes. But if they get sloppy and lose that way, then you're going to have.
This team's not going to. Yeah, but that's not going to happen. This team has a lot of character. It's not just Jake. It's not. This team's not suddenly going to stop playing and get sloppy and get individualistic. It's not in this team's DNA. Now they got to get some wins. You know, But no, I mean, I don't think it's going to go south. I don't see that from this. You see Juwan Gary and Emmanuel Bandoumel and Greasel and Derek Walker. I mean, any of those guys, Wilcher, Tominaga, those guys they play hard. They'll keep playing hard.
Huskers play at Minnesota at 11 a.m. Saturday.
Got to get that
11 a.m. BTN.
There's got to be a lot of urgency, and Fred did talk last night about the lack of urgency on the defensive end. Again, if the ball is not going in the basket, it does affect your defense, and he acknowledged that. It shouldn't, but anybody who's been around the game at all knows if you're not shooting well, it tends to affect your defense. And I think you saw that last night. But I would give more credit. I would say that conversation is more about what Michigan State did. It's more about, was it Tyson Walker?
Yeah, he was good last night.
Right out of the gate was
21 points. He was on fire. 9 of 15 shooting for Tyson Walker.
And he was coming off a bad game against Buffalo. But I just think Michigan State's formula is basically the formula to handle a good defensive team like Nebraska, which is, again, press pace and whip the ball. I mean, try to get shots early in the clock. If you don't, move the ball. Man, they move the ball well, Michigan State. They really, in their half-court offense, the ball was moving. And it doesn't matter how good your defensive team is. If the ball's moving like that, it's going to be tough for you, and it was tough for Nebraska.
Would you agree?
They got a lot of open shots, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, Michigan State, and they weren't just open shots. They were comfortable open shots because the ball movement. It wasn't.
That's Izzo, man.
Yeah, Izzo has a pretty good team. Pretty good team there. Pretty good, Jake. They're a top 25. They look like a top 25.
Would you agree that Wisconsin is one of the better teams in the conference right now?
I don't know. I watched them against Minnesota.
They beat Minnesota by 3.
I know. I didn't think Wisconsin looked very good.
Well, maybe it's just one of those years in the Big Ten where anybody can beat anybody, which has been the case so far.
I don't know. I have a hard time sizing up this conference right now. I mean, I know I like Purdue, but I don't think Purdue, and I do think Purdue's a threat to win it all. I do. But after that, I like Indiana. I guess I would say I liked Indiana better than Creighton. I said that on the air, and I still say it. I like Indiana better than Creighton. Creighton's now won 3 in a row, by the way.
They have. Yeah, they're starting to find their way a little bit.
Yeah. 3. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, Wisconsin's 11-2. I brought that up.
Yeah, I didn't think they looked good last night.
Well, they won, though. They beat Minnesota by 3 at home. So if you think that Minnesota's just going to be a walk in the park for Nebraska, it's not going to be a walk in the park.
No, it won't be. No, it won't
They're
be.
trying to get their first conference win.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So Huskers go for 11 a.m. on Saturday.
It's a hard game time start. The good news is there can't be a big crowd there, right?
I wouldn't. No, I would. That's a bad basketball team. Kids are still away on winter break, and it's 11 a.m.
It's going to be a quiet arena. Both teams are going to have to generate their own energy somehow. That's good. I think that's not bad for Nebraska because guys like Vandemel, he'll get them going.
We got a phone call. If you can hear us, you're on early break. Who do we have here? Go ahead.
This is your boy from Napa, California. Good morning, fellas.
Thank you for patiently waiting, Vince from Napa.
Absolutely. But as far as the conversation is concerned, as it pertains to both Coach Rule and Coach Hoiberg, now for one, I've been completely in the camp of there is no rhyme or reason why 6-6 and making it to a bowl game should not be a goal. There's no reason whatsoever because think about it, okay? You figure most teams on a given year are going to have 3 gettable non-conference games. And then from there, once you get to conference play, it's a matter of, okay, can I find 3 wins? Mickey Joseph found a way to do that, and he had 0 head coaching experience. And now we want to point – now there's obviously been the conversation of all the one-possession losses that we had, for one, under Coach Frost in 2021, and for that matter, throughout the Frost era. And of course, and to a lesser extent last year after Coach Joseph took over because, we lost 2 games – where we had a double-digit lead, and they were, right there. Wisconsin and Minnesota come to mind. So I see it like this. All right. From there, it's a matter of, okay, if Coach Rule has any sort of game management skills, you should be able to flip at least a couple of those games anyway. And as far as how I pivot, pun intended, back to Coach Hoiberg,
mm-hmm.
as far as what's what gets him back or what have you. Now, I think it's all well and good that we're finally playing a style that, is more conducive to what we have, because I'm a firm believer in that, when it comes to relying on 3-point shooting, I'm with you, Sip, unless you have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, there's no you really can't do that, and plus on an every year basis, we're not going to get those type of guys. So that's where, the core of your team has to be, solid defense, good shots on offense, and use tempo. But you know what though, fellas?
What's that?
Whether you're Coach Rule or whether you're Coach Hoiberg, every game you play, when it's time to kick off or time to tip off, it's time to kick ass. Let's go.
All right, Vince. Kick off or tip off. Kick ass. There he goes. Thank you, Vince. Well, when we come back, Sean Callahan will tell us about a couple new recruits added to the class from yesterday and a little update on the staff. How about that? Sean Callahan, Husker Online, next on Early Break and Ticket.
This is Megan Whitaker from the Nebraska golf team. If you put your clubs away for the year, it's time to get them back. There's no doubt that Golf Double is home to Lincoln's best indoor simulator for every level of golfer, with everything from casual games for the kids to hyper-realistic simulations of some of the best courses in the world. And the best part, no matter what the weather's doing outside, it's always golf weather inside. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra protein powder ideal for anyone wanting to look better, feel better, or perform better. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. Hopcat is your pregame headquarters for basketball and volleyball all season long. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan the next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com. Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy new year. We are thankful for many things from 2022 and hope that 2023 brings prosperity for you and starts off well for everyone in your life. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Pillar Restaurant Group is proud to announce the full opening of our brick-and-mortar venue-at-home store, Lincoln's new premier specialty grocers. This store is home to our get the finest Nebraska steaks, hand-cut in-house by butcher, prepared for our restaurants, and available for you to take home. With hand-selected specialty seafood, charcuterie, wine, bourbon, and liquor options. Come in today to see what we have to offer at 70th and Pioneers in the Pioneer Woods Shopping Center. Open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Bagels & Joe is celebrating 30 years of business this year. With 4 Lincoln locations and 1 in Seward, there's more options for your favorite breakfast spot in town. And don't forget the Joe card for unlimited drip coffee for just $8.95 per person per month. Bagels & Joe, celebrating 30 years of serving Lincoln and the surrounding areas.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mostly cloudy skies expected. It'll be breezy out there, too. We'll see a high of around 33. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies again, and that breeze will continue tonight. We'll see a low of around 21. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies expected over the area with a high of around 35. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, not a good day for Nebraska basketball yesterday in their loss to Michigan State, but a pretty good day for Nebraska football, getting 2 recruits from Ethan Nation as well as Cameron Lenhart, defensive end.
Yeah.
Commit to the Huskers yesterday.
Ethan Nation is a corner from Roswell, Georgia, and Cameron Lenhart is I don't know, pass rusher, defensive lineman from the East Coast, New York.
Yes. We're joined now by Husker Online Sean Callahan to discuss that and more. Sean, good morning. Were either of these commitments a surprise yesterday when they announced to Nebraska?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Nation, just the way it played out. I mean, this is kind of one of those ones where they literally didn't start recruiting until like December 18th or whatever it was, and called him and wanted to see if he could visit. And they didn't know much about the young man, and other than he had a decent offer list on paper, and a lot of teams recruiting him. And they said, "Hey, we'll have a car pick you up, take you to the airport, come into Lincoln," and came in for his visit. And he didn't commit obviously right away on the trip because he was holding out, and I think Nebraska had to make sure they had numbers and it felt right, and it all worked out. I mean, yeah, you look at 30 roster additions now by scholarship already. And there's still a lot of time until August. So you have to think that they're going to probably, last year they took 33, which was the most we've seen in Nebraska in the 85 history. You got to think they're going to take more than 33 players this year, which is crazy to think because we thought last year's number was so big.
33, you say 33 and 85. So the 33 high school and junior college players on scholarship, right?
And transfer portal.
Yeah,
I count that. I mean, that's part of the recruiting class now. And there's 23 traditional recruits now, high school, junior college. A year ago, that number was only 18. They took 15 traditional recruits and 3 junior college recruits a year ago. Then they took 15 portal guys last year.
15 portal guys last year, 7 so far this year. 15 portal guys last year, 7 so far this year. Where do you see that number going, the portal number?
I mean, I think there's going to be a few more. This weekend is when you can bring guys in. Now, we haven't confirmed yet any names that are here for sure. We know there's a lot of guys on the radar, but there's a 5-day period that starts, I believe it's today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where you can have transfer portal visitors on campus. And it's to kind of eliminate a year ago. Remember when Casey Thompson came in and he had to come in on his own dime and they couldn't even talk to him on campus. He could walk around on campus on Zoom or FaceTime, but so they tried to alter that a little bit, and that's what this weekend is going to be around the country. You'll see some transfer portal visitors everywhere.
Sean, looks like Nebraska is going to get both Anthony Grant and A.J. Allen back for next season. How surprised are you about that, to have both those guys back?
I don't know. I would say super surprised, but Anthony Grant's a 6-year, and the shelf life of running backs. It's tough. I mean, I think he did have a good year, but it didn't finish the way he needed it to. I compare it to, like, say, Dedrick Mills. Dedrick Mills was in the situation a couple years ago where he could have come back for his 6th year. He had that real big game at Rutgers to finish the year. He thought that was enough to go, and he never made the pros. And it's tough. And I think Anthony probably still needs one more good, solid year. But even then, he'll be, 24, 25 years old at that point. So, I still think the NIL opportunities and other things probably factored in and say, look, I can go one more year here. And regardless, I'm going to make money here. And I'm probably not going to get drafted. A.J. Allen, I think the key was getting things figured out with the young man in the NIL. And Brian Applewhite is who brought him here to Nebraska. So reestablish kind of a relationship, get to know him, get things figured out. And clearly they did. And you saw both those guys announce they signed NIL deals with 1890, the big collective now that's running that took the place of ABM.
Real talk, Sean. Real talk. Would they have A.J. Allen on their team right now if it wasn't for NIL?
No. I mean,
thank you.
A lot of these guys, I mean, they didn't have NIL. NIL is an important part of things now. And, roster maintenance is now the buzzword you're going to use every offseason. You've got to make sure not only you got to recruit your, new players, you got to re-recruit your own team every year and kind of make sure all your loose ends are tied up. Like Colton Feast, I don't know if more NIL would have made a difference, but that's another. You guys had him on your show, and I think he just decided it was time to move on. But what if they said, we'll give you X amount of more dollars, put you on scholarship? You could still walk on Colton Feast. And I think his NIL was essentially covering what a scholarship would be. So, there's a lot of money. There's a big money piece to all of this now for every kid.
Sean, we have not covered this on our show. I have not asked you about it till right now. What do you think December looked like for the 1890 collective? What do you think it was like? Characterize it. December.
Well, it was
I'll help
crazy.
you. Yeah.
In a lot of respects, because ABM's final payments, and we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars of payments for volleyball and football mainly, went out in December. Their monthly contractual payments. Every athlete, the key ones, are on service contract agreements. Those final service contract agreement payments went out in December. Well, those you have to have payments and contracts ready for January.
Right.
Do you think key players on this team would be like, hey, we're still trying to get our NIL figured out? No one's getting paid this month. Do you think that's going to fly?
No.
What if DP just said, Jake, we're getting things figured out. No one's getting paid at the ticket this month. We'll get it figured out though for February. I mean, so it was really important that 1890, who's kind of taken over, obviously the main chair of the collectives, got the roster stuff figured out and got these payments out in the month of January here.
And what has happened is you've gotten key players to stay in the fold. Reimer, Henrich, Robinson, A.J. Allen, those type of guys, right?
Prohaska.
Yeah.
And those aren't the only ones that have signed. I think 1890 has only really announced kind of the key ones. And they've covered a lot of ground quickly, and they're in a good position. But yeah, it's a transition to get going, and there hasn't been a lot of public stuff about it until just recently.
Sean, always good stuff. Thanks for the time. We will chat with you again next week.
That's it.
Hey, thanks, guys.
All right, Sean Callahan, Husker Online.
Okay, so Ethan Nation, I did do a write-up on that. I'm doing more recruiting now, and I did watch Ethan Nation. Wow. I mean, I watched it, and I thought, okay. I mean, this is a ball hawk corner with great ball skills. I mean, he was a pretty good receiver at Roswell, Georgia, which is, by the way, a 12-2 team. And when you watch Ethan Nation on video, yeah. I mean, I think if you looked at his rating on 3, you'd find he's about the 4th or 5th highest rated player in the class. It's not a small pickup, nor is Cam Linhart. Those are both good.
No, I think those are pretty important gets yesterday.
Yeah,
gets.
Rule has done, I would say, an excellent job.
Yeah, and if you're into recruiting rankings, which a lot of people are, yesterday moved Nebraska to 29th in the rankings.
Yeah, they're in the top 5 in the Big Ten. They're fifth yesterday.
Right.
Now, that was before Lenhart and Nation. They were fifth, so maybe they even moved up there. But yeah, I'd just say Rule's done a very good job.
It's been a really good first month for him.
Yeah, they're very organized. It looks to me like they're keeping Vince Ginta as the head of recruiting, the chief of recruiting. That was a Frost hire for Frost last year. Vince is very organized, and I think he's getting kept. Hello,
you like that move?
Yes, I'm a big Vince. Vince was the impetus to Callahan signing those Bill. He worked for Bill. So this would be Vince Ginta working for his third head coach at Nebraska. Sounds like a pretty good story.
It does. Third time's a charm. Maybe it actually, more success now for Nebraska.
Bill had success.
He did. Yeah, he did.
What's your problem?
I just want consistent success. I just want it out of every couple of years. I'm a scarred fan, Mailbag and Song of the Day is next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Beat guy. Get it upgraded, repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer services, ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at Renew. See what we can do for you.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus grants. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Acres, your John Deere dealer, is offering blow savings on in-stock 2022 compact tractors and mowers. Make quick work of chores around your acreage and save over $4,000 on select John Deere compact tractors equipped with a loader and blade. Or save up to $1,000 on select 2022 John Deere Z-Trax and lawn tractors. Visit your local Acres store or acres.com to get these great discounts. Acres, solutions for every field. Discounts available on in-stock units while supplies last.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. It's football season, and that means you're tailgating with friends, or if you're like me, yelling at the TV during Vikings games. Trek CBD has a variety of products that help calm me down during the games, so don't scare my dog. But in the rare cases that I yell too much, there's CBD products for him, too, and all other pets. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Trek CBD has it all at 84th and Anderson. Trek CBD done right.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Pillar Restaurant Group is proud to announce the full opening of our brick-and-mortar venue-at-home store, Lincoln's new premier specialty grocers. This store is home to our brand new Butchery by Venue. Get the finest Nebraska steaks, hand-cut in-house by our butcher, prepared for our restaurants, and available for you to take home. With hand-selected specialty seafood, charcuterie, wine, bourbon, and liquor options. Come in today to see what we have off at 70th and Pioneers in the Pioneer Woods Shopping Center. Open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit ASBMidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
A new year means new goals and upgrading, but that doesn't only apply to health and fitness. Mullen Motors can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2023 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2022 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Lake.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra clean protein powder ideal for anyone wanting to look better, feel better, or perform better. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample. Visit the certified nutritionist and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. The best way to strengthen our economy for the long term is investing in our education system and raising the skills of American workers. To succeed in the global economy, we need to modernize our schools, hire excellent teachers, and focus on the future. Support great public schools, and we can make the good life even better.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association. Aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough?
never feel like an
if
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning,
But you really love to voice your for his music choices.
stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Song of the day, Crazy by Aerosmith. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
Makes me wanna pull down the shade. Yeah. That kind of love. Yeah, now I'm never gonna be the same. I go crazy, baby.
Once again, your Song of the Day, Crazy by Aerosmith. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
Is Rick Heyman back tomorrow?
Yes, he is.
Good. That's good. We need that.
He is back. He's got a great song, by the way, for tomorrow.
Well,
I've already heard it.
Thank you.
You'll like that one.
Yeah, that was awful. No,
Tell me, do you not like Aerosmith?
I'm so on Aerosmith. They have a great song. We've talked about this. We had a conversation. I thought maybe you'd play the really good song "Dream On."
I have played Dream On before. Who would ever deny that that's a great song? That is one of the best songs of all time in
Right.
music.
It's an incredible
Come on.
song.
Oh, yeah. I've never heard of Dream On.
Walk This Way.
That's a good one.
Great one.
Yep.
Great. So no, I don't have anything against Aerosmith. I love those songs. That song is terrible. It's one of the worst songs that Aerosmith has. Yeah, it's poppy crap. Okay. Poppy crap is what that song is. I'm sorry.
If Steven Tyler was right
I
there,
would
you
tell
say
him
it to
that.
his face,
Yeah,
hey,
I would.
Steven,
he's got
that's
other
a poppy
problems.
crap
I don't know
song.
if you've seen the news, but he's got other problems. But besides Sipple saying
his song is
crazy's
poppy
bad.
crap.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
2.
Wow.
2.0.
We haven't seen a 2 for a long time.
2.0.
Especially for a respected band like Aerosmith.
That song does not. I mean, I turn it immediately on the radio.
You know, I've gotten deserved 2s before for, these random alternative songs I'll bring once in a blue moon. I accept
That song's
a
a
2.
waste of time. That song's a waste.
Let's see what
I
the
can't believe, and I'm really surprised you went with it.
Well, I haven't.
Have
played
you
it
ever heard
before.
Walk This Way?
Yeah, I played it before. I think I've done this for 7 years now. Song of the day. I probably have played a lot of these songs before.
2.0.
Let's see what we got for the text line, and then we'll get to the mailbag. Okay, Harper 5, and Harper says go Packers. By the way,
Go Packers.
Harper's dad of 5.
Okay.
Michael in Carolina 7.6. John says, "Wow, you surprised me with this one. A 9.5. That was a good surprise."
John. Is that John in
No,
Fremont?
different John.
Okay.
Unnamed John.
Okay.
Unknown John. Tim in Sioux Falls 7.7. Iconic voice.
Pretty high score.
By the way,
so
Sioux Falls got 15 inches of snow yesterday.
Whoa. Did it really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a lot.
it's a lot of snow.
Yeah.
Rod, nice Wednesday song. 7.
Good scores.
Jennifer. Yeah, that Jennifer. 9.5 with a smiley face.
Oh.
Hubby 7.4.
Oh.
You're on the wrong side of this
I am
one
so far.
right now.
So far. Thank you, Capitol Beach crew.
Bird in Columbus has 2 ratings. He says the song is a 3, but the video is a 9.
Ooh, don't know that video. Don't know. The song's a 3, though.
Phil says that might be one of Aerosmith's better songs,
Oh,
but
God.
still just at 4.5.
Yeah.
Not a fan of Aerosmith. Matt in South Lincoln, decent 6.5. You seeing a trend here? People like the song, Mr. 2. John in Fremont, 2.5.
There you go.
Bob in Lincoln, 9.9.
9.9, Bob? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I would not go that high for that. I'd listen, if I were rating that song, I'd probably go 5.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm not going to a
We're on
2.
the same page.
It's not a 2, though. Doug in Lincoln, 6.5. David from Renew, Yawn, 5.
Yawn. Thank you.
7.5 from Jeff on Highway 77 said the video is awesome.
Okay.
James in Lincoln, a 7.
Okay.
Joe in Boulder, a 5.5. Brown in Ely, Iowa,
All
9.
right. Ely, Iowa. I wonder where that is. I have no idea.
1.5 from Mark from Cook. He says, I'm with SIP on this one.
Thank you, Mark.
All right. There you
God,
go.
just do better than that.
Well, you know what? Rick will tomorrow. Rick Heyman will have a better song. Listen, I've heard the song tomorrow. It's a great one. I've already given it a 9 myself.
Okay.
How about that?
All right.
On that note, it's time to get to the mailbag. Here we go. The mailbag, of course, SIP, is sponsored by our good friends at Modern Woodman Fraternal Financial.
Say that again, please.
The mailbag
is
sponsored by Sean Erickson at Modern Woodman Fraternal Financial.
Modern Woodman Fraternal Financial.
You got it. To plan for your financial future and learn about member benefits, get to know your Modern Woodman representative, Sean Erickson, today. Call him at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation. Modern Woodman Fraternal Financial. Okay.
Some questions
Yeah,
there.
I got some. I do.
You almost forgot. didn't
Michael
you?
says this.
Come on.
If it got leaked that Nebraska is going to add a new varsity men's sport for the 23-24 year, what sport would you want that to be?
Ice hockey.
Ice hockey is the correct answer. I'm glad you went there right away.
Yeah. Yeah, men's or women's.
Could you see yourself attending those for fun? Like not covering them, but going for fun at all?
A few.
Like you don't go to sporting events for fun ever.
Hardly ever. A few.
Like maybe you could tell Sean, say, hey, I'm just gonna go watch. I want to watch the hockey.
Yeah.
I don't need to go get a press pass.
Yeah, high level hockey's fun to watch.
The answer, I mean, that is the correct answer. I don't know what you could go beside. I mean, maybe lacrosse, I guess. I'd still go ice hockey over lacrosse. Lacrosse is growing in popularity across the country.
Yeah. Lacrosse is, if they added lacrosse, it would be, I wouldn't, it would be like it's not happening because that's how I would regard it. All right. I'm just being real. Okay. In my realm, it would be like it never even happened. Sorry.
There. Well, ice
Now,
hockey.
I'm sure that made a lot of people happy.
Probably did. Ice hockey. Would be the correct
I've
answer.
been obnoxious today.
Well, you didn't have your coffee yet. You have you have a mug full of water. You're lying to the people.
I'm not lying to the people. I just put water in a mug. Is that
Guess what?
lying to people?
Yes, it's supposed to be coffee. Who puts cold water in a mug?
Keep going.
Some scary behavior. Kelly says this. Although Sip seems very confident in this Nebraska ball team, he said he'd be shocked if they lost by double digits yesterday.
Yep.
And they did. I'm more with Jake in that they have a lot to prove to even be an NIT team this season. With that being said, I think they might be just one piece away from being a solid bubble team. So, if you could choose one player from the Miles era to join this team in his prime, Who would you choose?
Palmer.
James Palmer.
James Palmer. James Palmer's the answer. He's an instant offense to this team. He was a pretty good shooter, great driver to the basket.
Again, we
took contact and got the ball up off the glass all the time.
The only person I could say maybe besides him would be Teran Petaway.
Oh, you could say Roby. You could say Roby.
Roby wasn't a good enough scorer at Nebraska. I need someone that's an alpha. I mean, Roby could have been an
Petaway's
alpha.
a great choice.
Petaway was an alpha.
Petaway's a great choice.
Palmer was an alpha.
Petaway and Palmer are the two best choices.
I still would go Palmer, but man, Petaway that in 13-14, he just always got to the rim.
Is there someone we're missing? I don't think so.
Well, do you need, your option would be Glenn Watson, possibly Isaac Copeland. You mentioned Isaiah Roby.
Those are good players. I'd say Palmer or Petaway, though. Pick your P.
The team that made the dance, with Petaway, obviously Pitchford was good the first year there.
Good players, but
Ray Gallegos.
Good players, but Palmer and Petaway are.
Yeah, I don't think you can go anybody else besides those two. Yeah. From the Miles era specific.
Boy, and they would look good on this team.
Yeah.
More of them.
James Palmer,
Yeah.
you get a scorer out there.
Yeah.
Guy can get hot.
Yep.
That's your dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, from Sean, not Sean Callahan, different Sean. Sean says, okay, you talk a lot in this show about what is the best pop, Coke versus Pepsi, Mountain Dew versus Mellow Yellow. What is the worst pop you have ever drank?
Pepsi.
That's
Pepsi.
the worst you've ever
I can't
had.
drink it. Well, I will tell you
It's not
this.
the worst pop.
I will tell. What? Okay, why would you look at me like that? It is. It is the worst.
You think
I can't drink
it's
it.
that?
I can't drink it. I can't. I literally can't.
I was watching.
It's like green beans to me.
Some people can't tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi.
That's
A lot can. If
amazing.
you do just a cup
I can't.
without branding,
I like Coke.
So do I.
Yeah, I like Coke.
I
like
there's no
drinking
way
Coke.
that Pepsi is your least favorite pop.
It's absolutely it is. Why would you say that? Like what would you
Because
think
they're
it
not
should be?
that different.
What would you think it should be?
I don't know. Some diet pops. I mean, Diet Pepsi is one of the worst things ever to
Okay,
exist
Diet
in this
Pepsi.
world.
All right, Diet Pepsi.
Most diet pops are terrible.
Not Diet Dr. Pepper.
That stuff's awful.
No, it's good.
bad.
It's good.
The worst
Diet Coke's not
the
very
worst
good.
sugar pop.
Pepsi.
It's not Pepsi. I mean, I don't like Pepsi. I'm a big Coke guy also. I hate root beer. I really do.
Ooh,
you know I hate root beer.
strange
I
take.
don't like root beer.
Really strange take.
I find it funny that people that don't like pop will drink root beer. Where I think I like pop and I hate root beer. I think it's really sweet.
Yeah.
And I like pop.
I'm not going to say I'm a big
I don't
fan.
understand people that don't like pop but think that root beer is good. I'm
I got
really
it.
confused by that.
I'm not a huge fan of root beer, but I will say this: a frosty mug of A&W root beer is on a summer day is a good thing.
Is that right?
Yes.
Agree to disagree. Okay. Don't like root beer. That's the mailbag, sponsored by Modern Woodman Fraternal Financial. Call Sean Erickson today at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Columbus had an A&W where you drove up and you ordered, and you could stay in your car. Like they have at Sonic, right? They had an A&W in Columbus. It was super cool. You drive up.
Beatrice had an A&W also.
Okay, did you do that?
No.
You not with
I
your
never
mom and
liked
dad?
A&W.
Not with your. People are going to be turning off this
Why
show.
is that?
Woodrow,
Why?
Because we're being sort of obnoxious.
No, we're not. I'm being truthful over here.
Are people listening?
Yes, they are. We can do a roll call top of the hour if you want to.
Let's do it.
Top of the hour next. We'll do a roll call. And also, I want to ask the question, who do you believe will be more successful at their new school? Matt Rule or Luke Fickell? That's next. Top of the hour, an early break in the ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM 93.7 The Ticket.
Painting research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key Solarion, one of the world's leading healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you can earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Pillar Restaurant Group is proud to announce the full opening of our brick-and-mortar venue-at-home store, Lincoln's new premier specialty grocers. This store is home to our brand new Butchery by Venue. Get the finest Nebraska steaks, hand-cut in-house by our butcher, prepared for our restaurants, and available for you to take home. With hand-selected specialty seafood, charcuterie, wine, bourbon, and liquor options. Come in today to see what we have to offer at 70th and Pioneers in the Pioneer Woods Shopping Center. Open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is under new management, but has the same great service as before. If your current garage door seems outdated or isn't working properly, call their new number at 402-480-2840 to schedule service or get a new door ordered. Steve's can repair most types of garage doors and can always point you in the right direction to get the job done. Give Steve's Garage Doors and Services a call today at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840.
Acres, your John Deere dealer, is offering blowout savings on in-stock 2022 compact tractors and mowers. Make quick work of chores around your acreage and save over $4,000 on select John Deere compact tractors equipped with a loader and rear blade. Or save up to $1,000 on select 2022 John Deere Z-Trax and lawn tractors. Visit your local Acres store or acres.com to get these great discounts. Acres, solutions for every field. Discounts available on in-stock units while supplies last.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Every child has the ability to be successful and thrive in life, but sometimes they need your help. Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Lincoln exists to help children unlock their potential by making meaningful matches between adult volunteers and young people. Right now, there are children just waiting for a mentor to step up and make an impact in their lives. Learn more online at bbbslincoln.org. There are kids right here in Lincoln waiting to get started. Volunteer today and start something big.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mostly cloudy skies expected. It'll be breezy out there too. We'll see a high of around 33. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies again, and that breeze will continue tonight. We'll see a low of around 21. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies expected over the area with a high of around 35. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Wednesday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break. Fun show so far. You got the podcast at theticketfm.com. You can always watch and comment on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Call or text 464-5685. The show is sponsored by Gaina Trucking. Check out their current job openings at gainatrucking.com. Now, we did say at the top of the hour, we're going to do a roll call. Should we do that right now? I know it's typically at 6 a.m. we do this. Well, just why we gotta be so quickly?
Do it quickly because we have a lot to talk about.
We do. All right. It is time for the renewyourauto.com roll call. Shoot us in your name and we're listening from it 402-464-5685. Renew Your Auto. Window tint, bed liners, body shop, ceramic coatings, and much more. 2 locations in Lincoln. RenewYourAuto.com. People listening from Tom and I don't know how to say this word. Apalachicola?
Apalachicola.
Where's that at?
Florida.
Wow.
Apalachicola.
That was I didn't know how Appalachia. Have you been there?
No, my brother has a place there.
Apalachicola.
It's out down in the Florida. It's Florida.
That's well done by you.
Apalachicola.
Because pronunciation is not always your best thing.
I'm changing that. This is a New Year's resolution.
It's definitely Apalachicola. That's right.
Yeah, this is a New Year's resolution. Okay.
David in Dallas just texted me.
Nice.
Yeah, personal text there.
Good. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
And who's in Apalachicola?
That was Tom.
Tom. Welcome to the
Hey,
show.
I like the name of that town.
Apalachicola. It's
Yeah.
a great place to go. It's a great vacation
you
spot.
said you've never been there before.
It's a great. It's my brother. I told him. I said Marty has a place there. They go there a lot. Apalachicola.
I love that word. I'm so glad you can say it like that.
Hey, keep reading.
Brian in Mascot, Florida. Mascot? Mascot is Mascotte.
Mascotti.
I think it's Mascot. Dave in Firth, Kent, Ohio Husker, Austin, Geneva. Michael in Columbia, South Carolina.
Welcome to everybody.
John in Fremont. Leroy's on Highway 77. Drive safely. Stan and Bennett, Brown and Eli, Allen and Lincoln.
This is amazing.
Allen in Fort Worth, Texas. Joe in Johnstown, Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Dale in Crete. Cleveland Mike in Topeka. I like that. Cleveland Mike in Topeka.
Yeah.
Jeremy in Northeast Lincoln. Bryant in Omaha. Thank you, guys.
Gosh, thank you, everybody.
Kelsey in Mississippi.
Thank you for Thank you for being with us. I thought we were pretty obnoxious in the first hour.
Oh, that happens sometimes.
Well, we can tone that down. We
can try. Thank you to RenewYourAuto.com for sponsoring the roll call. Okay, so I want to ask this question.
Just a good question.
464-5685. Who do you believe will be more successful at their new school? Matt Rule or Luke Fickell?
It's one of those questions that doesn't have an answer, but it's still provocative. Early indications are interesting to me. I mean, if you just look at, for instance, the quarterback picture. I mean, a lot of it comes down. A lot of it, not all of it, comes down to that, right? Fit. You still don't know how this fit is going to look either way, Fickell or Rule. But I mean, the early quarterback thing is really interesting to me. The Sims picture, Jeff Sims, the transfer from Georgia Tech. That's when you start watching video of Sims, it is very, if you're a Nebraska fan, I would think it's very encouraging that Rule went and nabbed Jeff Sims quickly from Georgia Tech. And then said that NFL folks say you got to go get him because he's a future NFL quarterback. I don't think you say that about Casey, by the way. I would still say Casey's going to be your guy. But the bottom line is a lot of how you judge these programs is going to run through that position, right?
Yes.
So Rule quickly has gone out and got a transfer in Jeff Sims. It looks like he could challenge for the starting job. And we'll see. And then we're going to learn a lot about Rule and how he handles that picture. Again, these are things we're going to learn quickly about Matt Rule. How does he handle this quarterback situation? If Casey said he's going to come back, we talked to his dad. His dad was on
Charles Thompson.
Yeah, Charles was on this show. talking about how his son is coming back, and that they knew that Jeff Sims was coming. And what'd they say? Bring it on. That we'll compete. So what now? We'll watch closely how Rule handles that competition. It won't be in the spring because Casey won't be available. But in the summertime, Casey will settle into a rhythm and then take that into August. And hello, we have a quarterback competition. How does Rule handle it? That'll be one way to judge him. Staff. I mean, Fickell, I don't know what. It's hard to judge that right now, I would say, on both ends. But it's hard for me to do this thing where I judge a staff before they do anything at the school,
Well, I think the curious thing about Luke Fickell is his offensive coordinator hire of Phil Longo, who comes to North Carolina. And
it's going to look different.
Now, we're not saying for sure it'll be a pass-heavy attack, but we
still run it.
We know that this past year at North Carolina, they passed a ton. Drake May had a lot of passing yards, and it worked out well. That was a good team.
Fickell's a Big Ten guy, though.
He is.
And now listen, I wonder like you what it's going to look like. I just don't think Wisconsin is just going to start throwing it around the yard like, say, Purdue.
No, they have a quarterback that did chuck it a lot. Tanner Mordecai at SMU threw the ball a ton. He threw the ball a lot. One of the top 5, I think, in the country in passing yards. He was up there.
That's Fickell's first kind of answer is Tanner Mordecai. Who
had a successful time at SMU.
Yeah, he real successful actually. 67.8% passer in 2021, 39 touchdowns, 12 picks. 2022, 65% passer, Tanner Mordecai, 33 touchdowns, 10 picks. He couldn't, but he had to transfer. He was at Oklahoma and had to move because he wasn't moving up the depth chart at Oklahoma. He didn't work at Oklahoma, Tanner Mordecai. 2020.
Well,
2020. That was Spencer Rattler.
He went to a better place. And now he's had success. It was Rattler.
So Tanner Mordecai, we'll see what that looks like at Wisconsin. But I don't know. To answer your question, who do you believe will have more long-term success? Fickell or Rule? Impossible to say. You're just looking at early indications. And so far, we both agree that Rule, his recruiting organization, I would describe as superb so far. Reminiscent of Bill Callahan's recruiting operation, which produced, ask Bo Pelini about the talent that he was left by Bill Callahan.
Yeah.
So
I think
the recruiting, I think their organization, if you ask Sean Callahan that, he'd tell you that the organization with Vince Ginta in charge of the recruiting operation reminds of the Callahan years. That is good. That's good.
There's a couple things here that
am I wrong?
No. If there's a couple things here that if you are like 100%, hey, it's Fickell, no doubt.
Why would you say that?
This is why I want to say why people would say that, which is unfair, I think, in the conversation. Luke Fickell comes off of a very, very, very successful tenure with Cincinnati. He was the national coach of the year last season.
Right.
Where Matt Rule comes off a bad tenure with the Panthers.
Yeah, he did bad.
So if you're going off of recent success or lack thereof, okay, big check to Luke Fickell. But that doesn't mean it's going to be the same way in the Big Ten.
The only way I'd look at that is if Fickell, I'd have to see how Fickell does in the NFL. And then even that is a hard, because what's he walking into? I don't know. I'm not going to do that. I don't look at it like
that's
that.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a fair thing in this conversation to say that.
No,
but those who are against Matt Rule in this topic would say, well, look what Fickell just did. Look what Rule just did.
Well, it is fair when you start looking at what Fickell did at Cincinnati to say it's better than anything Rule's ever done. That's fair. Taking a team to the college football playoff, the first group of 5 team.
Never did that.
The first group of 5 team to go to the college football playoff. That's a bigger
significant.
Yeah, that's a bigger feather than anything Rule has.
How about 9 drafted players last year?
Yeah.
For Luke Fickell at Cincinnati. A ton of great talent. Desmond Ridder, Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, and I think you would say the fit. You're pretty comfortable saying that Fickell fits Wisconsin.
Yeah, we thought he fit Ohio State, but he's going to Wisconsin.
Right. Can you imagine a scenario where Ohio State pops open, Ryan Day goes in the NFL, and does Ohio State come after Fickell?
Yeah.
Fickell quickly says goodbye to Wisconsin.
Yes, that's 1A and 1B. Luke
Well, isn't that a
Fickell.
problem for Wisconsin?
Sure it is. I think they're aware of that.
Would Fickell do that?
Why not? If it's your dream job, Ohio State is a better job, the premier job in the conference compared to Wisconsin, which is a good job, but not the premier job.
Would you blame Fickell for doing that?
No, it would not. I think Wisconsin fans understand that. If you talk to Wisconsin fans, they're saying the moment that Ryan Day leaves, we understand this probably is going to be the end of Fickell here.
Isn't there an argument to be made that if you're Fickell, you don't do that, you don't take another job, knowing that if Ohio State pops open, you're going to leave that job even before you coach a game? I don't know. I'm a little more uncomfortable with that conversation than you are. I am.
Why? It's uncomfortable. The whole thing. Whenever a coach leaves, it's uncomfortable.
Without coaching a game.
Well, you think Ryan Day's going to leave now?
No, we don't got to go too far into the conversation because it doesn't feel like Ryan Day's situation. It feels nothing like Harbaugh. I mean, Harbaugh's gone.
I think it'd make more sense before you coach the game to leave to go. Okay, I'm going to
really?
Wisconsin. I'm going to Ohio State. Yeah.
Okay, let's just not talk about this.
It makes more sense for him to go before he actually hurts that fan base even more by coaching and then leaving.
Interesting.
That's how I viewed that. What's more painful? A coach has a good year and then leaves, or he comes and then he never actually coaches?
You recognize it's a mess.
It's a mess both ways.
Yeah.
If you're going to
Let's
lose,
not do this.
If you're going to lose,
I don't think it's happening.
If you know you're going to lose a coach eventually to a different school,
I don't see any smoke with Day leaving right now.
I don't either.
But
you're the one that brought that up.
I know. Harbaugh. I mean, is Harbaugh basically as good as gone? Doesn't it feel like that?
Well, yesterday the rumor was the Panthers are heavily involved with him.
That Broncos,
that
Panthers.
Carolina is where he'd like to go is what the rumor was, not the Broncos. He'll talk to the Broncos, but yesterday's rumor was that the Panthers are his ideal spot.
And why is that?
I don't know.
What's their quarterback situation?
They don't have one. Sam Darnold. Maybe it's, hey, we're going to draft a quarterback, or maybe he likes Sam Darnold. I don't know. But they don't really have a quarterback situation figured out there.
Rule.
What they have is they had a good run game this year.
Back to Rule. Now we're going to learn a lot. We covered the quarterback situation. And I will tell you that I did watch finally, and I don't know. Sometimes I hesitate to disclose things because then you get criticized. But I just got around to watching Sims film Monday, and it was impressive. I mean, Sims is really provocative. The way he runs the ball, 6'4", 220, fast, good arm. I mean, the consistency is going to be the issue. That has clearly been the issue with Sims. And injury prone. Missed 6 games in 2021, missed 5 games this year. But man, if you're a Nebraska fan right now, I would feel very good about their quarterback situation because you got 2 starters, 2 legit starters that can win you games in Sims and Thompson. I still think Thompson's the better guy, better option. Clearly, Rule wants a quarterback that can run, though. There's no doubt who's the better runner of those 2. Sims can really run.
He's a big guy,
He
too.
can really run.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he looks good running the ball. He's not like Casey's okay running the ball. But could have Sims executed an aggressive downfield passing attack against Iowa the way Casey did? No, I doubt it.
He didn't have great receivers at Georgia Tech. How's his arm?
Pretty good. He's got good arm strength.
Is he accurate? Or
I don't think he's that
inconsistent.
He's 57.5% passer.
What was Casey this year?
He's at 63.
Okay.
Casey's more accurate, I'd say.
Could
have Sims executed a downfield passing game, an aggressive downfield passing game, the way Casey did at Iowa?
Did Sims
I'd
have
say
a
no.
Trey Palmer on his roster?
I doubt
speedster.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's the question. Because it sounds like if you talk to Georgia Tech fans, they didn't have much at the skill positions, especially at receiver.
Right. So we're gonna learn about. Oh, you know what we're gonna learn? We're gonna learn right away. Well, we're not gonna learn, but our learning is going to be enhanced right away by about Rule as far as picking quarterbacks. I mean, right away we're gonna better understand.
Here's the deal. I mean, Jeff Sims is a guy they picked out of the portal. That's their guy.
Oh, handpicked.
Yeah. Casey was here,
right.
and they like him to stay, which he is. But Jeff Sims was handpicked by this staff.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then they were effusive. Rule was effusive on December 21, early National Signing Day press conference. Effusive in his praise of Sims. Cold almost in his praise of, not praise of, just assessment of Casey. It was very interesting that way. You know, everybody's reading tea leaves. It sounds like Sims is their guy.
Well, we won't see Casey in the spring.
Right. Now, here's the other thing, though. Rule did say, I don't care if the quarterback is a freshman, a walk-on, a senior. I don't care. The best guy's got to be our quarterback. So I don't think Rule doesn't seem like the type to play favorites to me, jack around with politics. He just seems like a best guy will be the starter. I believe it'll be Casey. I'm not going to, and I think Casey's earned a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Capital. He's earned a lot of capital. Casey, with what you saw this year.
Yeah.
I mean, what he put up with this year and how he handled it, put up with a shoddy offensive line and got crushed at times. Oklahoma game, remember how bad that looked?
I remember.
Remember Rutgers, by the way?
Yeah.
When he got it from both sides and up the middle at one point, he got hammered from both sides and up the middle. You don't see that very often.
No, you don't, but it happened.
Okay. Now, as far as the roster goes, he brings in 7 guys from the portal. Now, what's this going to look like? Ben Scott probably going to be the center. We're going to get an idea right away. I mean, the roster's not that bad, and he's fortified it pretty well. Ben Scott will start at center, is my guess.
Okay.
Arizona State. Sims is going to be either quarterback 1 or quarterback 2, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Josh Fleeks he brought in from Baylor as a receiver.
Think he's a starter?
I don't know about that.
Not sure about that.
Rotational, my guess. Okay, on defense, you wonder about Elijah Judy right away, right? He's almost has to be a guy that contributes immediately. Elijah Judy, that transfer from
that's
Texas
expected for Nebraska fans, yeah.
No film on Judy, barely played at Texas A&M. Barely. I think he played 21 snaps.
Okay.
Chief Borders. I would think Chief Borders coming in from Florida has to play edge on the edge.
Didn't play a lot, did he?
No. Don't know about him.
He didn't. No, not much film.
Corey Collier coming in from Florida to play safety, probably. Highly recruited out of high school, 4-star player. I would think. Now, he's not as integral because Nebraska's pretty good at safety, right? Miles Farmer's back. Probably going to start, right?
I expect that.
You got Isaac Gifford, depending on, I don't know how, he was playing nickel, but he can play safety. Deshaun Singleton's back. Noah Pola Gates. We'll see what Collier does. And then, of course, you have the transfer long snapper. I imagine they brought in to be their long snapper right away. Anyway, so, we're going to get a good idea of Rule right out of the gate.
Yeah, big question is going to be
what?
Well, how do you replace Trey Palmer in this offense?
Oh, that's a big one.
Fleeks is fast. He is fast.
I don't think he's like fault.
But I don't think he's the same player as Palmer is.
No, your one receiver right now, your number one receiver is probably Marcus Washington.
And Marcus is a good player, but he's not the level of Trey Palmer.
Well, he doesn't have that 10-2 speed.
Alante Brown, we haven't seen enough from him.
He's
solid player.
He's solid. He can't be your one guy. He's a good player. I think if in terms of portal needs right now, I think you could make an argument that a receiver or 2 is maybe your main need.
Well, look at last year. You got guys in the portal in Washington and Palmer, which were both not here the previous year,
right.
and both your top 2 receivers.
I think that you would say you could say that is your number one need. And then I would say number two would be, I think you have to get 2 more offensive linemen that you could say could start, that you could look at them and say they're potential starters. They got Ben Scott from Arizona State, who I think they just brought in to be the starting center.
He makes it sound like the same thing as well.
Yeah.
I'm a center. I'm going to play center in Nebraska.
And starting center. I think you need 2 more there, though. They got 6, basically. Six guys that you'd say, okay, I think we feel comfortable with those guys. You need more than 6.
And again, Teddy Prochazka coming off another injury.
Right.
Then. A guy that you like, but he's coming off of an injury.
Yeah.
Turner Corcoran had a rough year.
Okay, so receiver, offensive line, you better go get another edge guy.
You're set at running back.
You're set at running back. You're set at running
Allen
back.
are back. That's huge for Nebraska. Huge.
Gabe Ervin is back.
Tight end, you're hoping that Fedoni sticks
you're
around
all
is
right.
healthy.
I think you're all right. Borkercher, Fedoni, Rollins.
Assuming that Fedoni stays healthy. He hasn't stayed healthy at Nebraska yet. I mean,
So receiver, offensive line, edge rusher / D line. You got to go get Hey Jake, you got to go get D linemen, plural, probably 2.
well, they did the same thing last year. Devin Drew came in
And
late in the
Stephon
portal.
Wynn.
Stephon Wynn came
Yeah.
in the portal.
I think it's another situation like that where you got to go get a couple for depth. Now, Raquan Buckley is interesting. He's a holdover. It's time for Raquan.
Step up.
Yeah. As far as other portal needs, you better go. Come on. You got Henrich and Reimer back. Thank
Need
you,
some back
1890.
linebackers.
But you need depth back there. And what's Hausman going to do, by the way? What's
If
Hausman going to
Jim
do?
Harbaugh leaves Michigan and goes elsewhere, does Hausman stay at Michigan? That's a
a good
big question.
That's a
Now,
good
you would
question.
obviously take him back in a heartbeat, but I don't know if he's going to come back to Nebraska.
Speaking of coming back to Nebraska, Xavier Betts goes in the portal yesterday. Did you see that?
I did
news?
see that.
Xavier Betts in the portal. Now that indicates I just don't think this is a Nebraska discussion at this point. I think he'd have to go somewhere else. And there's a lot in that conversation. Grades are in that conversation. Where could he go somewhere and qualify academically after being out? I don't know, but man, that's an alluring prospect in the portal. 6'2", 200.
Oh, yeah.
6'2", 200, Nebraska's second leading receiver in 2021.
We saw him. He's got a lot of potential.
Oh, man,
if
does
he
he got
can be there, if he's there,
right.
he's good.
Well, if he wants to play.
If he wants to play football, he's a very talented player.
Right. It came down to that at Nebraska. He just, for whatever reason in his mind, he wasn't fully committed to it.
How do you define the Big Ten's bowl season next? An early break on the ticket.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health and dental company match, assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play those courses and more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double finance from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Bagels and Joe is celebrating 30 years of business this year. With 4 Lincoln locations and 1 in Seward, there's more options for spot in town. And don't forget the Joe card for unlimited drip coffee for just $8.95 per person per month. Bagels and Joe, celebrating 30 years of serving Lincoln and the surrounding areas.
Every child has the ability to be successful and thrive in life, but sometimes they need your help. Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Lincoln exists to help children unlock their potential by making meaningful matches between adult volunteers and young people. Right now, there are children just waiting for a mentor to step up and make an impact in their lives. Learn more online at bbbslincoln.org. There are kids right here in Lincoln waiting to get started. Volunteer today and start something big.
A new year means new goals and upgrading. But that doesn't only apply to health and fitness. Mullen Motors can get you into a new vehicle right now and get 2023 the right way. They cleared off their 2022 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Lake.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits. Steve's Garage Doors and Services is under new management, but has the same great service as before. If your current garage door seems outdated or isn't working properly, call their new number at 402-480-2840 to schedule service or get a new door ordered. Steve's can repair most types of garage doors and always point you in the right direction to get the job done. Give Steve's Garage Doors and Services a call today at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make. I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit Action.
This
those are cocky out of the womb.
is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The question we have for you, 464-5685, call or text as always, is regarding the Big Ten's bowl season. Now, I just want to know, was bowl season an overall win for the Big Ten or a failure because Michigan and Ohio State both failed to make the championship game? The Big Ten ended up 5-4 in bowl games.
Success.
Purdue got absolutely waxed by LSU on Monday in their bowl game, but
63-7.
That was bad.
But let's go through them.
That was pretty predictable to see coming.
Let's go through them. Let's just do this. And I'm going to say it was a successful bowl season for the Big Ten. Success because even the losses by Michigan, Ohio State, you would say weren't bad.
But we don't want moral victories here.
No, but
I'm with you in terms of it was a successful bowl season. It could have been incredible if those teams, at least one of those teams, had won.
Yeah.
But it was just good.
Wisconsin 24, Oklahoma State 17 in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Good win.
Success.
Good win. Minnesota 28, Syracuse 20 in the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. Good win. Good win.
Good win.
28-20. Maryland beats number 23 NC State.
Good win in the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Excellent win. Excellent win. I can't criticize Loxley like I used to.
No, you can't.
I can't.
And I won't let you.
Okay.
If you do, I'll bring this back.
Okay, well, I'm going to say the same thing about Iowa. Iowa 21, Kentucky 0.
It's a great bowl win.
Yeah.
They had the third string quarterback in.
Mm-hmm.
So Kentucky had 2 pick sixes right in that game to help them out.
Yep. Good. I mean, if
they shut them out,
if Nebraska beat Kentucky, no, we'd be celebrating.
Think about Nebraska when they shut out Arizona. We were ecstatic. I mean, that's a shutout bowl win, 21-0.
Then you get to Mississippi State in the ReliaQuest Bowl, 19, Illinois 10.
They had more to play for. They played for their,
right.
Mike Leach passed away, of course.
We covered LSU 63, Purdue 7, 63-7 is horrifying.
I think you just glide by that one and say, yeah, that happened. That's pretty predictable. O'Connell didn't play. Jeff Brom's gone. What do you have at Purdue?
The forgotten Rose Bowl. Penn State 35, Utah 21.
Yes, impressive win. Cam Rising's injury helped Penn State, but they still played good football on their side of the ball on offense.
So, yeah, I'd say by and large, that is a successful bowl season for the Big Ten for sure.
It's a pretty quiet 11-2 for Penn State, too. Penn State,
really quiet.
They have 2 losses to Michigan and Ohio State.
Really quiet.
Games they are both competitive in both those games. Lost.
That's too quiet.
Yeah, no one talks about Penn State. They're going to be a top 10 team when the season's over.
11-2 shouldn't be that quiet.
No, it shouldn't. But
it's
it was
kind of scary though. For like if Nebraska goes 11-2, people even gonna. I mean, it's not like people don't even notice Penn State,
and they'll finish in the top 10 for that ranking with that finish.
Won the Rose Bowl
handily.
Are we talking about because this is a playoff world now?
Probably so. I mean, we're not talking about Alabama, K-State at all. That
No.
game was, Bama was just outside the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
And that game just gets forgotten.
I watched it in its entirety.
Right, but people forgot about it though.
Sure,
Except for
it
you.
wasn't. Yeah, it was very forgettable.
I'd say that even though Ohio State and Michigan lost, they showed they belong, right? Whereas last year Michigan did not belong against Georgia. They got absolutely smoked. The fear has been, okay, the Big Ten can get teams there, but can they actually compete when it matters?
Mm-hmm.
They did.
Ohio State played the number 1 team in the country and was leading most of the game.
Should have won the game.
It had a field goal chance to win the game.
Should have won the game.
It was no fluke. They were up by 14 points in that game.
Late.
Right. Fourth quarter. Michigan, again, if they don't have 2 pick sixes, if they don't make some critical mistakes, they could beat TCU.
Michigan was disappointing in that they were unsound in a lot of ways. We covered that a couple days ago. Michigan was sort of surprisingly unsound and seemingly spooked by TCU's prowess in the front 6. Jim right away on a 4th and goal using a trick play suggested that he was a little spooked by what TCU had up front. And then later in the game, down inside the 5, instead of running the ball, he threw out wide, down by the goal line, Jake. That's not Michigan. I don't know what.
Is he calling plays, Jim?
No. But,
I'm
it's
sure
his operation.
Sure.
And he's surely heavily involved. But what's Michigan doing there? Why aren't you running the ball in that situation?
Great offensive line.
Right.
Run the ball.
Right.
Prove that you got the dudes.
Again, TCU, I'm telling you, I know you weren't watching. You were out gallivanting around Colorado. But
Hey, I watched some
TCU,
of
I
that
want you
game.
to understand. Well, you watched TCU Kansas State.
And I watched part of TCU Michigan.
And so you understand TCU is physical. They're physical. They weren't manhandled. They weren't manhandled. In fact, they were the more physical team on that day. They were more physical than Michigan. This was a fascinating Saturday. We didn't talk about it much, but how often do I watch 3 full games? Well, I watched 2.5 in this instance.
You only
'cause I fell
watch it
asleep.
if Nebraska has a bye week.
Yeah.
That's
But
the only
I watched
time.
all of Alabama, Kansas State, and all of Michigan, TCU. And then I fell asleep late. Ohio State, Georgia.
All day.
Yeah.
Incredible. Here's a text from Tommy. Tommy says, bowl season was a bit of a letdown in general. No fans at 90% of games, players opting out. It's playoffs or bust, and our 2 playoff teams did not
But
win.
isn't that why? Is that Tommy?
Tommy,
isn't that why you appreciate Alabama, though? They didn't have players opt out. Their key guys played. And same goes
I
for Kansas.
appreciate that.
Same goes for Kansas State. Their key guys played. I don't know. Did Iowa have opt-outs?
Not that I can think of.
Laporta played.
Yeah, Laporta played.
Yeah.
Jack Campbell played.
Not everybody opts out.
Cooper DeJean played.
Yeah. I don't think Iowa had opt-outs. Tommy, Alabama didn't have opt-outs. Kansas State didn't have opt-outs. A lot of teams did. They did. And it ruined some bowl games for sure. Like, Purdue. If you look at Purdue, look at who they didn't have. That's why that bowl game doesn't even matter to me. They had all those guys opt out. O'Connell, the tight end. No, Purdue.
Oh, Payne Durham.
That was 2 guys, and then there was at least 2 more key guys. Well, that's why I don't discount.
Jeff from Farrell says Iowa sucks. Don't give Iowa compliments.
Iowa looked good against Kentucky.
They did not.
Yeah, they
Their
did.
defense looked good.
They looked good.
Their offense was offense.
It's Iowa's Iowa offensively.
Yeah.
Jeff, Iowa got a good bowl win. And if Nebraska beat Kentucky in a bowl game, we would be overreacting to a large degree. We would.
We'd be just happy.
We'd be overreacting.
It's nice to have a bowl win.
You said something very interesting.
What did I say?
That Penn State put together a quiet 11-2. In fact, I regard that with sadness almost. You can be 11-2 in the playoff world. Nobody even talks about you.
They are forgotten. They're forgotten.
Now, do you understand that if Nebraska gets to 11-2, Nebraska could be forgotten?
I think it'd be different with Nebraska because they have not been there for a while. Now, Penn State
how much
has.
different?
Penn State in 2016 won the Big Ten
How
Conference.
much different in this college football world? How much different? Why wouldn't they be forgotten?
The rise
like
of
Penn State?
Nebraska would be significant. You know, Tennessee got a lot of attention this year because they had been down for a while. Tennessee's rise was pretty popular.
It was.
The win against Alabama, I memean, that was such an incredible game.
Yeah.
Talking about the goalpost leaving the stadium, going down the river eventually.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I think
let's just keep it. I feel it's unfortunate for Penn State how quiet that is.
Yeah.
For James Franklin, it's unfortunate. That's 11-2 is, man. I mean, come on, think about what they play in. I mean, they play in a rough division.
They were the 3rd best team in the conference, but had 2 teams in the playoff.
Right.
They're a very good football team. And they won, I believe, I think they won 9 of their 11 games by double digits. Like they smoked teams when they played them, including their bowl game against Utah, the Rose Bowl. So a good year that is just lost and still a top 10 team for Penn State.
Franklin knows what he's doing.
Well done, James Franklin.
Yeah.
Let's play.
Hey, wait a second. One other thing. If Jim goes, Franklin, would he slide to Michigan?
No.
I don't think so.
No. Penn State is a big brand.
Yeah.
Big brand.
Yeah.
This is not Minnesota where Fleck going there would be a big deal for him. It's a
Right.
big step.
No, you're right.
How much of a step is Michigan versus Penn State?
Well, it's just a matter of, it's been a little rocky for Franklin at Penn State.
It has.
And so it's just a change in environs. I'm not saying necessarily that it would be a step
It's not
up.
rocky right now. He went 11-2. People are happy with James Franklin right now.
I mean, Fickle to Wisconsin's not a huge step up, right? From Fickle, from Cincy?
It's the Big Ten versus the AAC. Yeah.
No, Cincy's going to the Big 12.
That's true. True.
Is it a big step up?
No, that's why it's still that one's interesting. You
Yeah.
still think we thought Ohio State was the team he would jump for eventually, and he's still winning.
We need to delve into what Michigan's looking at if Harbaugh leaves, because that is one of the most fascinating sports stories out there right now. What would Michigan do if Harbaugh leaves?
Well,
do you know how that could shake things up? For instance, if it was Fleck,
yeah,
because then Minnesota's open.
Yeah, they'd find somebody. Probably underwhelming, but somebody okay.
And we talked about Urban. If it was Urban, what a sports story.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens, but I think we'll have that conversation soon with Jimmy. Let's play the game show. Give us a call right now at 464-5685. Your chance to win a business box of bagels to Bagels and Joe. Sip is 1-0 in the week. Today is Wild Card Wednesday. It's been a long time since we did this topic.
What happened yesterday?
You won.
What happened Monday?
We didn't have a show.
Oh, that's right.
Today's topic is Wild Card Wednesday. State nicknames.
Oh, no.
I give you the nickname. You tell me
No.
what state that is. You got 50 options. Which ones are they? 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
All right, 464-5685. Call the Dickdown Sip in trivia. 1-0 in the week, trying to go 2-0. How do you feel about state nicknames today?
Thanks to Bagels and Joe for the coffee. I feel better because of the coffee.
Could have had it in the first hour. Chose water instead.
All right, who's on the line?
Yeah, who do we have here? You're playing the game show today.
Jason here.
Jason, how do you feel about state nicknames today?
Oh, not too shabby.
All right,
See what
Jason.
happens.
All right,
All right, Jason, let's do it. Thanks for calling.
All right, Jason, here we go. First question goes to you. What state is known as the first state?
The first?
Yeah, the first state.
Let's go. Virginia.
Zip, first state. You want that one?
It's got to be Delaware.
Delaware is correct. It's a 1-0 lead on the steal. Look at this historian over here.
Delaware.
All right, Zip, for the 2-0 lead, your first question. What state is known as the Constitution State?
Oh, come on. It's one of two. Oh.
5 seconds, please.
Yeah, don't.
5.
This is
4.
I got 50% out here. Connecticut.
I would not have got that right, but 2-0 lead.
Wow.
Yeah. See, Jason. Wow was right. I wouldn't have got that either. For to stay alive, Jason, what state is known as the Gem State?
Oh, yes.
The Gem?
Yeah, GEM, the Gem State.
Nevada.
Oh, that's what I thought. Uh-oh. I would have missed that.
Idaho is the Gem State.
Oh.
Idaho. Jason, we'll get you a bagel and a coffee. Thanks for calling in and calling down the road.
Hey, thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you. That was quick
That was
and dirty. Quick and dirty.
You want your last one?
Can I say that? I think I'm all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, right.
It's past. I can't stop you.
All right, go ahead.
What state is known as the Pine Tree State?
Oh, of course. That should be. I'll probably go with Washington.
Also known as Washington. The answer is Maine.
Maine. Okay.
You would think the Lobster State, right?
Yeah.
Pine Tree
Yeah,
State.
Pine trees.
Or maybe the Black Bear State? No, Pine
Okay.
Tree.
Okay.
Tiebreaker. There are 50 states in the U.S., of course. What number was Maine in order of admittance to the Union?
6.
23rd. 1820. Back in 1820.
That's that's really rando.
Well, that's what tiebreakers are for. That's what
tiebreakers are
for, and that's why we do Wild Card Wednesday. You
All
never
right.
know what to expect.
That was a fun show.
It's not over yet because we have the spillover next, right?
Yeah, with Raph and AD.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Maybe Raph can give us an update on Denver Broncos coaching search if there's any update to be had. You know.
Yeah, we'll
if
see what
there's
Raph
anything going
knows.
on. Yeah.
The spillover with Raph and AD is next on Early Break in the Ticket.
Every child has the ability to be successful and thrive in life, but sometimes they need your help. Big brothers and big sisters of Lincoln by making meaning in young right children just waiting for us. Learn more online at bbbslincoln.org. There are kids right here in Lincoln waiting to get started. Volunteer today and start something big.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely my moments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com. Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3 and 4 day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit ASBMidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Bagels and Joe is celebrating 30 years of business this year. With 4 Lincoln locations and 1 in Seward, there's more options for your favorite breakfast spot in town. And don't forget the Joe card for unlimited drip coffee for just $8.95 per person per month. Bagels and Joe, celebrating 30 years of serving Lincoln and the surrounding areas.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy new year. We are thankful for many things from 2022 and hope that 2023 brings prosperity for you and starts off well for everyone in your life. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This,
Well, good morning, little brother.
is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for the spillover. Raph and AD are in the house, gentlemen. Good morning. Good morning. Good
Morning. Wow, that's a lot of energy over there, Raph.
Yeah. Wow, it's fired up.
They always come in a good mood. Which
They do.
I love that.
They do.
Happy go lucky.
They must not have watched basketball last night. Then, huh?
They did.
Yeah.
Thank God it was an early game.
Yeah, that's right. 6 p.m. game, not 8 p.m. You know,
And that game was over at 7:52.
Yep. It was.
It was actually over around 6:30. If you look, look at how the game was going there, right?
It's over at half.
It was over at halftime. So about 7 o'clock, it was done. Really. Huskers fall by 18, 74-56, trailed by 22 points at halftime.
Yeah, it was over at halftime.
It was over at half.
Well, they cut it to 12, didn't they? In the
It was
second
over at
half?
half,
Raph.
That's
Guys,
what
I'm gonna give us
over
that
half, Raph.
I bring positivity to this show.
The glass is half Raph.
Yeah.
Oh man,
The glass is always half Raph.
Half
Broncos,
Raph,
Huskers.
They just needed to catch a little bit of a break in the second half.
It feels
That's
like
all.
Raph's teams are like, I'm going to beat him down as much as I possibly can. See how much can this guy actually
How much of
take?
bludgeoning?
How much
you
can he
know?
take?
Raph lost his patience with the Broncos.
Oh, he did. And
Yeah.
I lost it week 1 for him. He kept it going for at least 7 or 8
But
weeks.
you
or
lost
so.
your patience.
I made it a while.
We sat here in week 1,
Mm-hmm.
and Jake said it with compassion, conviction.
Oh yeah.
He's an idiot. He's horrible.
He
Our
didn't
coach-
say it with compassion.
Your
coach is a moron.
No,
Not compassion.
There's no compassion. We'll just say passion. We'll tell the COM out. It was just passion.
And in fact, Jake's compassion level for anything is fairly low.
Very low.
He's not all that
His
compassionate.
dolphin sign is upside down in his office.
I put I
He did it on purpose.
It's true. I put the Dolphins sign upside down.
They're gonna beat the Jets.
if they play games
No.
this week.
Uh-oh.
We cannot allow that to
Yeah,
happen.
AD Steelers don't want the
I
Dolphins
need-
to beat the Jets.
I need the Jets to beat
Okay.
the Dolphins.
The
And I-
Jets are out of the playoffs. They might be playing for a draft spot right now because they're out of the playoffs. However, it is a rivalry game. Saying they might say, "Screw the draft picks. We want to beat the Dolphins, not
Pride.
out of the playoffs." Pride.
For the Steelers to get in there,
Hey,
you need
listen,
the Jets to win.
The Browns will not be easy for you guys. The Browns
Heck no.
pummeled them the first time with the run game.
Chubb ran
Yeah,
at us
he
like
did.
he just didn't care.
They could not
First game.
stop the run game of the Browns. And Deshaun Watson looked better last week against the Commanders in 3 touchdown passes.
Yes.
So
We have no
got to beat the
easy
Browns
task.
first. And they have pride in the line too,
Yes,
saying
they
we don't
do.
care about the draft pick. We want to beat the Steelers.
And it's Steelers and Browns and Cincy, that whole trifecta, they all hate each other.
Do
And
There's
little-
respect. We have respect for Baltimore.
Really?
And in Cincinnati too, but Cleveland just no.
So yeah, help me with this. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. It's a 3-way hatred.
yeah, there's a lot there.
Really?
There's a
I
lot.
thought the Ravens were hated though too. They're
we
not
respect the
too new.
Ravens. We respect the Ravens. There's always a lot. I mean, we respect the other two, but it's just bad blood between them.
Boy, healthy hatred's good.
It is.
It's
For
odd
sports,
for me
in
to
sports.
respect the Ravens because they're new. They're one of the newer franchises in the NFL.
But they go back so. I mean, those past since Harbaugh was in. Tomlin been coaching this pretty much the same time.
True.
It's always gone back and forth. There's always been a lot on the line, and they're just bludgeoning physical games. And there's a mutual respect there.
I like it.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah.
Raph,
I
so
agree.
Who's Denver's foremost rival?
Raiders.
Is it still?
Not the Chiefs. I lost 15 straight times the Chiefs.
I think for
That's not a rivalry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Raph.
That's why you didn't say the Chiefs.
How do you glass half Raph that?
Yeah, half 15 straight losses.
No, that's not too much. But that's not a.
well, I continue going back though,
Raph.
being a Broncos fan. This is going to get me in so much trouble.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Chiefs fans are all about their 15-0 over the Broncos, which congratulations. I'm more worried about Super Bowls. And if you look back over the last 10 years,
okay,
how many Super Bowls have the Chiefs won? How many Super Bowls have the Broncos won?
One.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
All square.
Last half Raph.
Yep.
How do you half rep that one? 15 straight losses. I love it. Yeah, well, we'll see again. I don't know. So at this point, there's still some drama in terms of what's going to happen this weekend with the Bills Bengals game postponed because of the Damar Hamlin situation. I guess this weekend's games are still kind of up in the air. I don't know what's going to happen. There is some talk about maybe pushing back a week and pushing the playoffs back a week also.
Oh, is that right?
Possibly. Now, that's a rumor. I don't know exactly where this stands, but it's Wednesday. You know, there's no game tomorrow. This helps out. There's no Thursday night football game, which helps everything out to have a little bit more time.
Sure.
But I mean, you're talking about major ramifications if they push back everything a week to make Bills Bengals play.
Yeah,
And I'm not sure where this year sits on the Super Bowl because usually it flip flops every year. When one year they have 2 weeks, one year they have 1 week in between the championship games and the Super Bowl. So I'm not sure if this year is a 2 week one or a 1 week.
Well, they could afford to have just 1 week. 2 weeks is excessive, right?
Yeah,
It's
very
always
much so.
that whole week is excessive. Now I know it's for the Pro Bowl, but no one watches the Pro Bowl anyway.
Flag football game this year.
They could honestly
that
skip the
right?
Pro Bowl
Yep.
and just do it like the All Americans in college. You're a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
And the players
Here's your
wouldn't-
money.
The players
could care less.
Here's your bonus. Congratulations. See you next
Absolutely.
season.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yes, just be. You're
You can be a Pro Bowler and then have a ceremony of some
Yeah,
sort.
you're done.
You watch what's going to happen this year. They're playing flag football. And what always happens when you play flag football?
Blow out a hammy.
Well, you got a lot of people that get way too physical playing flag
Yeah.
football.
Oh,
So
goodness.
this year you'll probably see more contact in the flag football game than what you saw when they had pads on.
You know what? Now that you mentioned this, flag football doesn't seem like a good idea to me.
No.
It almost seems it just doesn't seem like a good idea.
It's like telling a sports car to drive under the limit in a residential area. They're just
Yeah.
not made for that.
Right.
They're not made for flag football.
It's a good analogy.
Just say you're all pro. Here's your bonus. Be done.
Right. And
Have a good
or
day.
have like a TV show like Bob Hope used to do with the
Yeah,
All Americans.
do it fun. Do something fun.
Yeah, do something fun and honor them, but don't play flag football. Oh, that's a bad idea.
These guys are making way too much money right now. And the way that I think there's just too much more on the line right now for these guys physically in a business decision to where they're not going to go out there like, Sean Taylor did back in the day, leveling guys, in the Pro Bowl. It's just not, those days are done.
Why did Goodell let that happen?
He sometimes feels like he doesn't have the right pulse of how to handle things. Goodell. I don't think he's the complete moron that some people think he is, but I don't think he's the best commissioner ever.
You're not
either.
putting your moron tag on him?
No, that's Hackett. That right now, that's
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett. He's the
Well,
only.
he's
moron.
gone. You
gotta let him go.
You've put it on some other people.
I have. I'm not going to call Goodell a moron.
No, I wouldn't
think
either.
He's got
but
some issues.
That's a question. I didn't know that. I'm gonna look into that a little more. They're playing flag football.
Flag football, yep. Peyton Manning and Eli, I believe, are the captains. With your defensive coordinators, is it DeMarcus Ware and Ray Lewis, I think.
I would not know any of those guys.
Just
are
have them, just
part
fly
of
them
it.
out to resort, let them play golf, have a banquet, and
Have
that'd
a,
be it.
yeah, have a televised banquet.
Yeah, how about the Pro Bowl is just a 4-man scramble?
Who would you have?
I love it.
That'd
okay,
be cool.
so Bob Hope used to have the All American deal on TV.
Oh, they're on.
Yep.
Yep.
Who would you have? Who would be the host for this event where you have an hour-long TV show?
Pat McAfee or something like that. That guy that
McAfee, Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee or
That'd be
something like
good.
that.
He'd be
Okay,
funny.
McAfee would be good. Come on, Jake, Raph. Who would be the host that would be good?
So what's the play? It's a 1-hour show.
Yeah, 1-hour show where they introduce the guys.
Jamie Foxx would be fun.
Jamie
Yeah.
Foxx. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jamie, thank you. That would be good. Jake, come on.
Frank Caliendo with his Bob Hope
There, hey,
voice.
Frank.
Oh, Frank Caliendo would be
Frank
perfect.
Caliendo would be awesome
because he
that.
could do a lot of
he'd be great.
impersonations.
Caliendo
Yeah.
would be sweet.
He'd be sweet.
Okay, you
All
just don't
different
want it to be
voices.
you just don't want it to be a comedic act.
Peyton Manning,
We got
Peyton
Kev-
Manning would be good.
the
Raph.
sheriff.
Chad
Do
says,
you want Ryan Seacrest or something out
Yeah,
there?
Seacrest. Thank you, Jake.
I think I'm gonna stay
Seacrest-
away from Seacrest. He doesn't seem the most at me.
He loves the Georgia Bulldogs. I
Yeah,
think
that's true too.
Yeah, he said it on
Seacrest
the
loves the
show.
Georgia Bulldogs. He's a huge Dogs fan.
Yep.
Well, he's got a real big feel to him too. Real
Yeah,
big presence.
Seacrest would be good. Thank you. That's a good one. Now I need to weigh in.
Well,
I would have said Regis Philbin. He's dead.
Yeah, it wouldn't work out too well.
Regis would be good.
He would have been good.
Who would be good in that role?
Somebody says, unknown texter says Rob Riggle.
Don't know who that is.
Rob Riggle, he's the
He was
big
got-
dude. The guy's a big.
Oh yeah,
Kansas
that
fan.
has
Yeah.
that.
He was Fox for a while. Is he still
Yeah.
on Fox? or-
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob Riggle.
Husker Soft says Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Steve Harvey.
Okay, hold on. That's the new clubhouse leader. I think
Above
Harvey would
Ryan
be perfect.
Seacrest?
Yeah, Harvey would be perfect.
And Tad says Kevin Hart.
That would be good.
Yep.
Interesting.
I like Steve Harvey above all right now.
Will Smith. Oh,
He says
be all right.
he'd be like, hit. I'll hit somebody. I'm all down for the hit.
I think Harvey would be great. Harvey would be great.
Steve Harvey.
Yeah. Back in the day, Bob Barker would have been good.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, not Drew Carey, but Bob Barker.
No, not Drew Carey.
Yeah, Drew Carey
That's
still
destroyed that
doesn't-
show.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I watched it once the other day. It's just not
Destroyed.
as good. It's
Ralph Benurska.
Okay, I don't know who that
Who's
is.
that?
He was the old kicker for the Chargers, but he took over for Pat Sajak on Wheel of Fortune back.
did?
Back in
Wow.
like the late '80s or early '90s.
What's his name? Ralph Benurska.
Ralph Benurska.
I remember him as a kicker. I don't remember
Yeah.
him as a game show host.
I know.
If Ralph walked in here right now, I'd have no.
I
idea
have
who
no
he
clue
was.
either, but I was thinking, I was trying to mix.
How can I help you? You
I was
in the
trying to
right
mix
building?
host and prior football. So
Chris Berman. Someone said.
Berman would be good.
Berman
Yeah.
would be great.
I think Harvey would be the best right now.
Yeah.
Harvey.
Steve
Funny.
Harvey.
It's funny, but has a proper amount of seriousness to him.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All
Harvey.
right. Well, maybe that'd be a good candidate.
That's the
there.
best thing to do. To have like a a show that's a variety show.
We don't need flag football. We
Yeah.
don't
No.
Don't need flag football.
Almost roast the guys a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, roast them a
Yeah,
little.
happy the roast the Pro Bowl players. That'd
Yeah.
be hilarious.
That'd be super
Yeah.
funny.
Somebody says Hart and The Rock together.
That'd
No
be good.
texter.
That'd
Yeah.
be fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
God dang.
I think we're onto something, man.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, fellas.
All right, so you guys are going to talk about hoops right out of the gate?
Heck yeah.
Oh boy, it'll be a short segment.
Quick break coming for that. All right, the drive with AD and Raf is next for Steve Sipple. I'm Jake Sorensen. See you.
Acres, your John Deere dealer, is offering blowout savings on in-stock 2022 compact tractors and mowers. Make quick work around your